an extra day to get set up because the cup runneth over tonight. So pay attention. Like I said, welcome all the YouTube outlaws, all the Facebook outlaws. What's going on? The People's, yes sir, the People's Network presents Outlaw Radio.
Outlaw
Thursday night edition.
Outlaw.
We cup runneth over tonight. Like
Skool
I said,
in a little, OJ.
yeah, we got Bill. They ain't going to hell. So what's going on? Tell the people something good, man.
Peace, peace. How y'all doing out there? I hope all is well. I am the black woman's lover, the black man's brother, the culture teacher, hood healer. Your OJ Kelly. Hey, that's how I started, right?
The Cadillac man.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I ain't an intro. Shit.
Hey, look, we had a show. We had a show, right? They was kicking their shit, right? And I stopped and looked at them. Oh no! I picked my pen up and got started.
I'm gonna bring us some music. Shit.
Look, you know the theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I make.
I need a nigga with a horn. Shit. I gotta follow this nigga.
The mouthpiece of the movement, the militant with a microphone, aka the Negro Whisperer, the mayor of Chocolate City. I ain't perfect, but I'm working. Okay, you gotta invest in me, right? It is Outlaw Radio. It's the best thing going besides pimping and hoeing. Just in case you didn't know, the underground speaks. A reflection of black men. Like my mirror is full, as you can tell. I got the fancy cameras now, so I can do the whole wide angle. Y'all look at that. Look at that. Everybody, we look like the Jackson 4. Right? He wore rubber the next time, right? Which one of y'all was the worst son that made him say, I'm wearing a rubber? No, fuck that. Uh-oh.
I was going to say, it is.
I'm your gracious host, your humble host of this platform. God gave me a gift, so I decided to share it with the world. Merry Christmas, motherfuckers. Yeah, so it's Outlaw Radio, man. School days.
School days.
Today was a somber event for me. Yesterday was a somber event for me leading into the holidays because yesterday was the 25th anniversary of the death of one Chad Butler. If you don't know who Chad Butler is, you can Google it, but you will soon find out that they called him Pimp C. Pimp C was one of those kind of standard-setting individuals. Had a unique gift.
One day you hear
it's so much. It's so much for Pimp C, and I like a lot of people now, especially the young cats now. I'm the hip hop snob. So when I go into my Pimp C salute, I got to do the gold chain. Hold on. Pimp C. I'm UGK alumni, right? Northside born and bred. Capitol Drive, raised and reared. Pimp C,
29th Street.
Underground Kings, Riding Dirty, right? And many more songs from Pimp C. Pimp C died. I was sad.
Yeah, I don't think nobody liked that too much.
I was sad.
You wasn't sad for Pac, though.
I was, you with Pac, you kind of seen it coming.
Okay.
Like if you from the street, you seen it coming.
Right. Pac broke my heart.
But I think Pimps, because I was grown.
Like somebody else you been talking about, Fred Hampton.
Right, but we go. Welcome to the show, OJ Kelly.
Right. Yeah, he never did.
Yes, sir. And that's part of it too.
Okay.
And that was today is the 50th anniversary.
He had that intro, and then he had two of them.
Had two.
I'm on my fourth one. I always do things in fours. Okay, I'm from 17th Capitol. I move in fours. But I wanted the second part of this, which my esteemed co-host. I'm not gonna call him a guest. I'm gonna call him co-host.
All right.
So greatly iterated. The second day was the murder, the 50th anniversary of the murder of one Fred Hampton. If you don't know who Fred Hampton is, readjust your understanding. Fire up the knowledge and get high off the revolution.
All right.
Fred Hampton is probably the most definitive figure of the assault on our movement towards progression and liberation that we've ever seen. Here's a young brother, 21 years old, who can get the Black Panther movement linked with the Chicago street movement, which adds 35 to 50,000 Negroes. off top. His influence would have been great. Now I say this all the time, and I'm gonna let y'all talk, I promise. But let me get
time, do your thing.
Let me get my shit out. I say this all the time. If now I watched a documentary called Bastards of the Party by Clay Bone Sloan, in which he explained the systematic murder of the leaders of the young individuals in South Central, who Bunchy Carter, we go back and we look and they murdered them. They murdered Huey P. Newton. They didn't murder him. We know what happened with Huey. But just the dissolution of any Black Power movements. And some of them they're still in jail. Some of them are still in jail to this day. Right? Mm-hmm. So when we look at what if Fred Hampton doesn't die, Chicago doesn't end up the way it is. Black America. Fred Hampton was more important than Martin Luther King. He was about to be the new Martin Luther King, right? So the murder, and if you look at it, it was done. Look at how it was executed. And it'll hurt your feelings. Because Fred Hampton, like I said, Martin was dead. Medgar was dead. Malcolm was dead. Kennedys were killed. Fred Hampton would have brought this shit through. He would have brought it through. But within the way they murdered him, I'm going to just say this. Black and white officers don't carry semi-automatic or submachine guns, especially in 1971. There was machine gun fire. If you know the case, what was it? 200 shots fired in, 3 fired out.
40 something. It was shotgun, handgun, submachine gun.
Right.
But Fred Hampton was something different than Martin Luther King.
Okay.
But in the same fashion as he had to go per our enemies, they both on the opposite spectrum of the revolution.
Okay.
Martin Luther King, and see, that's the thing about, Black peoples and their representations. Like, I don't like Papa John's because why? Well, because Papa John.
Because that shit tastes like garbage.
Well, not just because
I don't fucking like that.
Well,
if the pizza was good, that's all right.
But no,
I still buy some of that bullshit.
not just because it tastes like cardboard with ketchup on it. It's because he takes millions of dollars and he hands it over to people to represent him politically.
Yeah,
that's the reason why Kamala Harris has had to drop out of the race, because she's out of money.
OJ, you gonna quit bringing my show in?
I mean, the shit costs money.
I know, but you rushing and you moving the needle.
I see. I didn't even know.
You too deep,
I'm trying to go somewhere.
He's an outlaw, man.
See,
give it up for OJ, man.
You gotta have a political wing. Martin Luther King was a political wing. You get people involved politically. You get people who can get folks to donate money to people to represent you politically. That's dangerous.
A leader.
And the Black Panther movement is something also that's needed. That's the security wing. Martin Luther King ain't hitting nobody upside the head.
A leader.
Panthers will shoot you in your face.
Some of them are telling you.
Some of them would.
A leader,
but you know what?
with
That's
no followers is just a nigga taking a walk, right? You know what I'm saying? So all of these, we dropping some great names, right? But the fact of the matter is we live in a day of information. So we know what happened to Malcolm. We know what happened to Martin. We know they killing us systematically. We know they killing our leaders, and then they pick the new ones for us. We understand what's going on at this point, right?
Which one's your favorite?
So none of these niggas now. Excuse me, with the exception of Brother Farrakhan. I think Brother Farrakhan is probably the last Black leader we have that's alive, and then managed to remain that way.
You know what? We don't need a leader. We need an example.
But and I think he's that too. But what
do you mean by that, bro?
I think he's that
because name the white leader, name the Mexican leader,
name him,
name the Asian leader.
Well, the white leader right now is Donald Trump.
Well.
All right. Mexicans have a leader too. I just don't know his name.
No, right? They actually. Well, if you don't know his name, then that means they don't.
Okay. Well, we said Donald Trump.
His name is El Chapo.
He's the leader.
Donald Trump's office is supposed to be the leader of the world.
Because he's the leader of white people, right?
Well, that's who he was before he even came to the presidency.
So you told me
because of his platform, he became not the leader of white America, the leader of white supremacy in America.
So according
to the figurehead of it. Now hold on.
The figurehead of it.
There's a lot of people.
There you go.
There's a lot of people who are tuning in right now. Let me kind of bring this thing in. This is Outlaw Radio. I'm Kevin Barnes. This is Talk to Teach, Listen, Learn.
I'm the Black woman's lover.
Yeah, the Black. Right.
Yeah, we heard.
He got on leather pants, and then we got my man. Tell people.
I'm just OJ Kelly. I don't have a porn nigga yet.
You gonna get one. We gonna make up a name for you.
We gotta put that in there.
Right.
Zeus.
you better make
I do
one
have
up
a
yourself
theme
before you
song,
let us
though.
make one up for you.
Well,
I never asked niggas to play.
I would have to play the song.
So you need like what, a harpsichord? What do you need?
You need
A
a
harp?
keyboard.
Hey, I'm that type
I
too.
would
I gotta hear
Google
the
it
song
and
and
hope
say,
it don't Google
keyboard
it
and you-
and then hope it ain't no
beatbox.
copyright.
So if Isaac Hayes never lost his hair, you be him.
I don't
So
think so.
wait,
I
you
ain't
see
cool
how
with that.
you see we went from the leaders
I
of
was
the
trying to
free
be
world,
funny, but
and
nobody
we
laughed.
digressed to like that's like stop it.
The conversation did digress.
But listen, we're outlaws. I hope you're an outlaw. And when I say, see, the concept of outlaw radio is this: you got to get brothers who will speak the truth regardless of what's on the line, because the truth is unblemished.
So,
The truth is undefeated.
lies, shit.
3 things
I
you
don't
can't
know.
hide: the sun, the moon, and the truth.
Lies is the #1 contender right now in this moment. I don't know what you go to school.
Okay.
They'll tell you all about it. But like I was saying it's about the followers. It's about it's not really about the figureheads like you said. Because right now black people stand in line more for it. That's
It's
just an
about-
example, you know.
Yeah,
But that chicken sandwich was symbolic for us.
that's all it was.
Unfortunately,
It's just like O.J. Simpson. Nobody cared that it was O.J. Nobody cared about O.J. before he killed no girl or his son killed no girl.
he wasn't.
Or
He
after
stopped being black a long
He
time
was
ago.
on
TMZ yesterday,
He
right?
represented black people and the legal system. It could have been anybody.
Well, we were coming off the Rodney King. We was
Right.
already sensitive about it.
Right.
Understand this,
could have
white
been any
people.
black man.
Like white people, I like to tell you about this. Anytime there's a riot, we're coming off some truly emotional shit. So I lay this out like this. With the Rodney King thing, and I'll start there. I don't need to go back to the Watts riots. I don't need to go back to the riots that happened in Milwaukee, Wisconsin
Detroit.
in 1967, in which Groppe and Mayor Meyer brought the National Guard in. I don't want to talk about that. Don't make me, Jason, stop making me talk about that.
Oh,
But there's always
okay.
been a wave of dissatisfaction for the disenfranchised. Yes, we talk like that. It's rebel talk. It's revolutionary talk. It's, nigga, what the fuck we gonna do? Did you see that shit, nigga? And I know since the 60s and the 50s, there was some brothers in the community that talked that way. But we classified them because that's what our oppressors did. We called them SNCC. We called them SCLC. We called them Black Caucus. We call them conservative blacks. We call them light-skinned niggas. We call them educated niggas. Instead of saying, we all niggas. And all of the niggas against everybody else, the niggas win. So Rick James' birthday will be a holiday if we do this right. I know, I'm on some bullshit. Somebody say me.
Kinda, right? And
Go ahead, man.
Some of that, right? You know what I mean?
You know what, though? I always say.
It sounded good, though.
Well, you know what? Listen. And this
I
is
tried
something
this shit. I'm trying to make the show hot.
When the revolution starts, before we kill one enemy, we got to get rid of the niggas that's in our ranks that won't do right.
But don't you love a faulty ass nigga though? OJ, you want capital.
You like to know who they are so you know what link spoon to feed.
Y'all don't know OJ.
Because at some point in time, you're going to have to pick a side.
You're going to have to.
Who side?
And if you
OJ?
don't, we're going to pick it for you.
OJ, who
Oh,
side
they're
you on?
going to pick it for
OJ,
them. Right?
who side you on?
When they get mad and say, you.
Who side you on?
What you mean?
Uh-oh.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Who you with?
He's saying, is you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm saying, who are you?
I'm registered as a Democrat.
Oh,
Okay.
However,
Because they won't let you in the state of Wisconsin vote cross-party line.
Right. Bipartisanship.
Right. So I couldn't register as a Republican and vote for any.
But how would you classify that? What do you classify yourself on? See, because I think we got a right to
as
hear.
black?
A black man.
As black. Now listen, I heard somebody say, you know, you're not supposed to make decisions according to the color of your skin.
Shit.
I believe
They
every
do.
decision in your motherfucking life better be because of the color of your goddamn skin.
Hello,
Yeah, at this point, since so
Boy.
much is against it,
It
Who
should
are
have
you?
always been that way.
Boy, who are you?
I ain't none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about politics.
You just like plants and herbs. And shit.
That's all. Fuck
You don't give a fuck.
Fuck.
Tell everybody, just drink some tea.
Leave me alone. I'm gonna be right here.
I heard somebody say something, and I might be butchering they quote or whatever, but something to the effect that the problem is when you don't get involved in politics, you end up being ruled by the inferior.
Because
you didn't get involved.
That was
I
a superior
tend
quote.
to
Who said
doubt
that?
that. I'll tell you, man. I
That
feel
was not
felt in my life right
Did you
now.
like that? That was nice. I like that.
Thank you, sir.
Right, man. Good job, man. Shit.
You're in a good position right now because of
man. Y'all see how flowery this
I
is?
feel freer than I ever felt in my life right now.
That's
in
important.
your position,
You know
that
what
you
I'm saying?
feel that way.
You know what I mean? I think that brings the vibration down. And my job for myself is to, well, let me say this. It's my responsibility. My happiness is my responsibility.
Absolutely.
Right? And if thinking about politics, worrying about all that shit, fuck it. I got better shit to worry about. I got some kids to raise. Fuck them politics. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure these kids are right, make sure their minds right, and I'm gonna help them develop their soul so it be right.
Who are
so
you?
they can feel free.
No, not anything confined by politics.
Well,
You know what I'm
explain it then.
I'm a black person, man, and I love black people who love black people. Really, and you know what I'm saying? And
You're offensive.
That's it.
People don't like you.
why?
That's it.
You tell me why.
Well, why is it offensive to be pro-black, to love black people? Why is that offensive?
That's
You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that at
you
all.
know what?
That's
Niggas was asking themselves,
unconscious
why
bigotry
did Colin Kaepernick wear that Kunta Kinte shirt?
Well, he's light skinned, so I assume he
I
talked to
mean,
Colin.
why
That's why I
is
was
a
asking.
Kunta
I'm the
Kinte
blackest
shirt
light-skinned
offensive
nigga
to
you
you?
ever
Well,
seen.
you're the lightest person on the show. So
Yeah,
we really need your opinion. Because what would Al B. Sure do?
I don't know. Didn't Al B. Sure have freckles too?
Right. Do you want to?
Just like you.
Should I take them off? Should I take them off?
The freckles?
Where the good camera at?
You gonna take the freckles?
Oh, ladies love freckles. Come on, son.
Yeah. When you sleep, they connect the
Listen,
motherfuckers.
there's absolutely positively no reason not to love yourself.
After they connect the dots, it's always a
Ken, we
picture
gotta
of
let
an
this shit
asshole.
go, man.
No,
Listen, we gotta let that go. I know him and his people. They got to be in the big house smelling apple pies. And we was
that bullshit.
Right. But that's okay, because I made sure you got a slice. You know what I'm saying?
We got the whippings in the
Yeah.
back.
We outside with a pig footy.
We got the whippings in the back. They got the sleep in the
No,
back.
listen,
I wonder why you ain't
some of you
cheating.
niggas was out
you
there
got
doing
that
the
shit
whipping,
in
right?
your
So don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, you know, we got started as soon as I got here.
There was a Sambo and an Uncle Tom. Don't play.
Listen, it's Outlaw Radio.
Shit.
It's Outlaw Radio. You know, the band is back together, if you say. But I want to get back to School Days. I want to get back to School Days because people say, well, you call the show School Days, and then y'all just ended up talking
expect
about
to see Spike Lee on this one.
Right. Well, no, because Spike can't come to this. Spike got a call. Like, but you don't just show up. But look, when I say School Days, I mean we are in the midst of so many, and it's alarming to a point. And this is your conflict as a black man. I'm about to say something y'all would think but won't say. I'm gonna say it out loud. Do I care that there were school shootings in Waukesha and Oshkosh?
You're gonna get that shut down.
No, I don't. As a matter of fact,
Me either.
fuck
The
Oshkosh.
signal finna get lost.
Wait,
I don't give a shit about that.
No, but
either.
let me finish. Let me finish.
I'm sorry, man.
Fuck
I didn't even laugh.
You know,
Fuck Oshkosh and fuck Waukesha. I want to say that off top. And if y'all got problems in y'all school, fuck y'all. I don't give a fuck. And I'm telling you why.
Yeah,
Because MPS has been fucked up and twisted for years because we have yet to figure out a way to educate the kids of the great migrants. See, the Great Migration was a movement for freedom. And we don't put enough respect on the name of our parents who fled the South via the Great Migration, which if you don't understand is which 500,000 black people relocate from the oppressive Jim Crow natures of the South for better things. Whether you went to California, Ohio, Chicago, Illinois, New York, wherever you went, you fled the South because the South was on some bullshit. And that's what we are descendants of. So let's grab the power. Let's say this because my mom and dad were sharecroppers. And I was raised on direct tales from the cotton field, right? I wanted to show Runaway Slave, but I thought that'd be too easy.
I just think it's funny how you call me the hardline militant of this show, right?
Well, I would like to talk.
Go back and listen to yourself tomorrow.
Okay, well, why do you think you're not the hardline militant?
Well, I just listened to your soliloquy. That's why. What do you mean?
Well, that wasn't actually.
That's why he called you the hardline.
You hear that?
Right.
Jesus Christ.
No, it wasn't a soliloquy. You know what it's
Oh, he's
called?
gonna break it down.
You know what it's called?
What's that?
It's called when you come on and you do the show. It's called what Johnny?
Well, it was good. You know
Johnny
what I'm
Carson
saying?
them call it the.
You edutained us, right? You know
No,
what I'm
what's
saying?
the beginning?
Monologue.
The
It's a
monologue.
Okay.
Right, fuck you. Don't help me.
Now y'all try.
Somebody need to get there.
But
Hello.
I wanted to take this moment to do something special. Because thugs need hugs. And I want to give OJ his patch.
Oh.
He's an outlaw.
Oh, this was my bullet. Hey, I was peeping this motherfucker too. Like, you know
I
what
want
I'm
to see
saying?
the gun that shoot that.
Well, I got one.
Yeah.
But
I never got an award as prestigious as this. Come on, man, get your speech.
No, OJ, you the fourth outlaw, man. Welcome to
First
the
of
family.
all, I'd like to thank my connect, the most important person with all
Hey.
Thank you, brothers.
No more guest appearances. When you come, you come.
My man.
You the fourth outlaw.
Hey, you know what, Ken? Let me tell you something, bro. I think when white people do stuff to other white people, they call it terrible shit. When black people do stuff to each other, it's called black on black crime. And I think the less white kids it is in the world, is the less competition it is for my kids. For education, for jobs, for housing.
You talking ethnic cleansing right now. Be careful.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna say I have to strongly disagree. Like,
I don't do. I'm telling you, that's just the way.
Jason, go get it.
That's the way they see
Wait.
black people.
No, but the shit is not pie. The way they see black people is wrong. Like justice for me don't mean less justice for you. Like I said, it don't have to be divided like that. Like it's enough for everybody.
I can't give white people justice.
No. I'm just saying. My thing is, I agree with separation, leaving them. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. I don't know about the genocidal aspect.
I ain't said nothing about genocide.
Well,
I'm just not crying when somebody died.
well, no.
I don't care to resolve white people killing problems.
Oh no! Listen,
I don't care to take methamphetamines and pain pills out their neighborhood.
I'm with you, brother.
I staunchly believe in the Second Amendment.
Hey, yes, sir.
I don't care if they die.
Well, no, okay. Let me. Okay.
I have a bottom.
That's
Like,
less
I have a
competition
bottom.
for my
I'm
children.
saying my bottom is there are certain things that I wouldn't wish on my enemy.
I'm not killing them.
Like personally, I'm just saying there's certain.
Oh,
things,
there's nothing I wouldn't wish on my enemy.
losing your children and certain things like that. I wouldn't wish that on nobody.
Too many of us done lost kids for me to feel like that.
But that should be taken away, right? You know what I'm saying? Not added to.
I want to do this for y'all.
Eye for an eye,
I want to
baby.
do this for y'all. I want to move this.
Then everybody's blind.
Let me move this needle. Let me move the needle.
Strongest side.
See, this is what happens when you get.
Well,
black
they
dudes.
winning right now. If that's the case.
Kamala Harris. Let's talk about Kamala Harris. Because I want to stay. Like I said, I'm socio-political, and the collapse of her campaign for the president, the office. See, 2020 is coming. Let's iron this out. Let's lay this out. Hey,
Camilla's a cop.
hit like, hit share, hit follow. We need you to support us on YouTube. Our YouTube page numbers are paltry. And Kamar, this is Nature to Terror.
Yes, sir.
Wait. The numbers is what?
Paltry on YouTube. Paltry. Hey man, I'm an arrogant.
They
nigga.
chicken.
Yeah.
I use words. My words are on land. I owe the government.
Hey, you make some
Look,
shit
shout
up
out
too.
to 3041 North.
Oh yeah,
Black
stars.
business.
Peace,
Black business. I wanted to give that out. But I wanted to talk about
What's up, champ?
we got to Kamala Harris because I move in a political way, and I think that you look at her whole movement. I want to tell black people this: if you don't love us, stop fucking with us.
That's all.
And this is the thing: I'm going bottom line because I love y'all. If you support us, I love you. If you're a black man, you need a black woman. You need to find a sister. All that light skin shit, and you chasing these ghosts of what beauty is. But one thing you gotta understand is,
Light skinned people is niggas too.
first of all, hold on. Let me finish. See,
Some of the best ones.
we always go this way. Everything they taught you is a lie. So even their standard of beauty. So I say that to say, there's a dark-skinned black chick with a gap in her teeth, with nappy textured hair, with hips from the gods and tits from the moon.
Yes.
And to make love to her is to get deep in the galaxy. to take a trip.
Yeah.
It'll make you take a trip to outer space.
All right.
It's the Great Space Coaster.
Yeah.
That is the
Take a
depth.
trip through the cosmos.
That is the depth of the black woman.
So,
Come here, girl.
Listen, there's no coochie deeper than black coochie. Listen, black
Your
coochie.
Valentine's Day be magnificent.
If you got the right chick, or you might get, listen, Becky can't make love to you like Boom Shika can. Boom Shika got the look. I can smell the fish cooking when she take her bra off. I can taste the pot roast when I lick her neighbor.
All right, I'm with that. I don't want to smell
I
fish.
don't want to tell y'all what cornbread is akin to. Okay. I'm saying stop playing with us. You don't like us, don't fuck with us. If you don't love a black woman, you ain't a black man. If you're a black man and you love black men, you're not a black man. Because what being a black man is loving a black woman.
You know what my thing is, brother?
What's yours? Please don't say you like Jewish dudes.
No. I've been off the porch.
Like, nigga, really?
I've been off the porch a long time.
Oh, you been around the block.
Yeah, and I started like
on Capitol.
Once I started taking baths around the 4th grade and combing my hair and using the iron, little girls started to like me. It was always little black.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't always do the right thing with little girls. Even with grown women.
What you do wrong with grown women?
I've had a lot.
What do you do wrong to a grown woman?
Well, sometimes just being honest with them and stuff like that is enough for some.
So is this anal?
Wow.
I didn't never think I'd make OJ go. OJ said, I wanted to think of a response. I wanted to respond like, and it came right here. I'm like, wait a minute.
I can't say
Does
that.
mean
Wait a minute. They're listening.
Here.
I would rather, well, I guess the only way it could be untruthful is to be like, I thought that was the right hoe. But beyond that,
you didn't see it.
But beyond that,
too.
Yeah,
you picked the one up. The highest one.
I feel like I owe black women.
If you ever get confused, just do this.
I feel like I owe black women.
No, Jason,
I would not want to enrich someone's life outside of a black woman.
I just said, if you don't know,
they've done too much for me over the course of my life.
You know what I mean? That's the move, right?
I would have to enrich the life of a black woman and black kids. I couldn't do that to white people. Ain't really never.
They don't deserve it.
No, and there's black people who deserve it.
Why Kamala lose the election? Why she had
because nobody was going to vote for the police.
Kamala's a cop.
Why is she a cop?
Well, why?
She was a federal prosecutor.
What do you mean? How many?
The feds got a 98% conviction
rate. Our
rate.
listeners don't know what y'all talking about. Who is she?
Well,
she was a
political person.
You almost called her McDougal. I see you say
She was a federal district attorney
in LA.
Yeah. And so, the feds have districts which can span over 2-3 states. So she was the lead attorney for the U.S. government, and the federal government have a 98% conviction rate.
Yeah.
When the feds knock on your door,
it's real. Conspiracy.
And that's all they got to say.
Right.
You ain't really have to did nothing. So you make a career out of doing that and think we supposed to vote for you, man?
Wait, because she used to listen to
I think you just. I just think he made.
She lied. Yeah, she lied.
I think OJ gets an award. I think OJ gets an award.
That's why I don't fuck with her. She don't like
y'all ain't listening. OJ gets an award because I asked him about Kamala and he said that y'all wasn't listening. He said you ain't even did that.
They did what?
That's what he said. They fit you with something, you ain't even did that. It's so grammatically incorrect.
Oh,
but it's so serious. You ain't did that. You did some other shit, but that ain't what you did.
Ain't now another motherfucker.
Right, now another. 50 of them doesn't count. This is black.
No one's voting for the police.
No.
You're not gonna make a career.
But now,
black people's lives.
But now all the candidates,
racist white people will.
But now all the candidates are white. So you got Biden. You got. Go ahead, Jay.
So let me ask this question, right?
Okay.
Real shit. Would you rather have a white person that don't fit the mold? Okay, so I'm gonna say somebody like Jimmy Carter or what's the cat? Bernie Sanders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's talking about legislation? Who's talking about actually changing some laws?
That's what matters.
Who's doing something? So would you rather have that white person that might make a difference, or the black coon shuffling ass nigga who gonna spend 2 terms in office and will refuse to do anything specific
Obama,
right for a black person? Which would you rather have?
My chest.
Which would you rather have?
You know what?
Why you drop your pen like you said some point?
I will when you say some poignant.
What, you know what? It's not even about trusting something. It's about, you can't legislate love. You can't legislate somebody caring about you. When a motherfucker care about you, bro, it's in them. It's not on them.
Politicians, by and large, don't care about it.
If you are a successful politician,
what you do for me is going to have to be tangible.
Okay.
If you believe in something that benefits me and you're willing to try and get legislation passed about something that's good for me, well, then I want to hear what it is you're talking about.
So, and if they can answer that question, then you would rather vote for that white person than that black person.
Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to say
because I only love black people who love black people.
I wanted to say.
Oh, me too. I don't like black people who cross black people more than white people.
Well,
because white people don't owe shit.
No.
White people don't know shit about us.
We know who they are.
Nigga, you know what the fuck I'm going through.
Come on.
And
right.
you did that shit?
Right.
You died before any hunkies died.
Uh-oh.
person to say hunky tonight.
Right.
So give him that credit. I wish I had the bell. Back in the days, I would have had the bell.
Them niggas was selling stuff for some weed, a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, right. Speaking of chicken sandwich.
Any damn thing. Nigga, you not selling the revolution now. You got first.
Hey, I want to shout out. I want to listen. If you're watching this show, I really love you. I fuck with you. Like, if you run out of spam or something, you ain't got no bologna and nothing, you come to Kev, I'm just hungry, I bring you a sandwich. I fucks with you.
It's gonna be more spam, but
now I ain't gonna give you no Whopper. It will depends on where I work at. But I love y'all.
just said it ain't gonna be
And
no
it's Outlaw Radio.
Holler at me. I ain't gonna give you no spam. I'm gonna give you a veggie burger.
Right, then they might as well give them some spam. But it's Outlaw Radio.
Oh my God.
Oh, no, on Wednesday that works. Thursday that shit don't work. Thursday is Outlaw Radio. See, Outlaw Radio is however
don't
you
need
want it.
spam no more, man. Do they?
Yeah, they do.
They
do.
Hungry niggas do.
In the ghetto,
There's no such thing as a hungry vegetarian.
I saw a
Nigga,
fucking sardine
this
can
potty meat
in somebody's garden.
I
I didn't know they made sardines.
I ain't
I
seen
didn't mean on
nobody
the
eat
cracker.
sardines since 04 when I was in the joint. And I ain't seen nobody eating sardines.
I was in the joint in '95 and didn't see no goddamn sardines. Nigga.
Well, I tell you what, you free now. I'll
Right.
give you some sardines and some mustard sauce with some crackers. And if you ain't ate all day, that
Well,
shit
see, that sounds
Listen, if
good,
you're hungry,
but
that shit taste
I
like
was
steak.
born free. My parents didn't have to buy my freedom. I didn't have to run along.
Oh, you were arrogant. Man.
No,
Give us free. Give
He's
us
a
I
free
was
nigga.
born
He's
free.
from
so
Virginia.
I
He's
didn't
from
eat none
Virginia.
of
He's
this
a uppity
Daze
nigga.
food.
He's an uppity nigga, ain't you?
Hey,
Yeah,
shut
You're a smart nigga, huh, ain't you?
But listen,
I might as well have been light-skinned niggas keep.
so
I didn't eat that shit.
So we got all these
Nigga.
black, I got all these black dudes on the show, and you can tell the testosterone is growing, and we normally have estrogen. Shout out to black women. We love black women. We can all agree on this.
Let's shout them out. Key Minor.
Key Minor.
Yeah, Cool.
Yes,
Right?
Cool.
Hey,
Lady Snow.
Fine as
Right?
wine.
Oh, yeah.
Don't y'all get it twisted. Black men love black women. Black woman. Let me give you a tip.
Couldn't have it no other way.
He
Let me
said
give you
just
a
a
tip.
tip. Just a tip.
Well, I'm gonna give you. Let me put the tip in. Listen, I don't need you to be weak, and you don't need me to be weak. We can mutually be strong as long as we understand that strength is a cohesive element. It's not a singular element. If I'm strong by myself, I'm half of this equation. If I can get with you and you're strong on your behalf, now we have a full equation. Now we have solved the problem.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now we go from worship, don't know our names,
Right.
so we get twisted.
Amin Ra.
Right,
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
We can rename ourselves African names. Your daughter name is Johnny. Nobody fucking knows what that shit means. Your mama's so confused. You should just name the Nikki. No, mama, you're an old Negro. And I want to talk about old Negro syndrome. Jim Brown, one of my idols. Jim Brown is one of the greatest black men that ever walked and the greatest player of football in the NFL from the 50s to now. You still couldn't cover him.
That's
you still
true.
couldn't tackle him. But in his old age, he endorsed Trump. Here comes Fred Williamson. And I'm looking at the 70s, and I'm looking at the 70s as your first taste of integration because of the battles that we fought via the 30s, 40s, and 50s. The Negro gets a chance to define himself. You call it blaxploitation, but we call it liberation. So Fred Williamson, NFL player, plays in the
Packers so much, and they waive the person who changed sports.
How can you
in our
love
state.
the NFL, which they got at Colin Kaepernick, and now to add insult to injury? Thank you, OJ. That's why he's on the show. This is how cold the NFL is. They dissed Colin for having a workout, but you know what they did? They signed a receiver that he said we're gonna do it at the Falcon Stadium. I'm gonna go to a high school. Y'all don't get to pick my receivers. They signed one of his receivers to an NFL team.
Yep.
In a supposed bullshit workout. You signed it. Let me tell you something. Fuck the NFL. And you motherfuckers talk all this shit and these comments about Lamar Jackson with the San Francisco 49ers announcer. He said he's so dark and the jersey is purple, we can't see the ball.
Listen, stop with we don't know how white people feel about us. Are we for real? We're gonna ask
Well, do we know? Explain it to us.
You don't
Talk
know.
to them.
You don't know. You don't know what the NFL's how they stance towards black people. We ain't figured that out by now. I mean, why are we still surprised? I hear the outrage about it, but the fact of the matter is, most of us still gonna watch it on Sunday.
I'm watching the Packers.
You see what I'm saying?
So, man, I feel like this, man.
It's a monopoly.
But don't
you can get mad at We Energy, nigga, and say, I'm not using y'all power. Nigga, you better have one of them bikes with the goddamn motor.
I think power's a necessity.
I'm like this,
I think football's a luxury.
I'm like this. If Cap willing to play football again, I could watch it again and not feel guilty.
But Cap don't solve all the problems that the NFL has.
Exactly.
You know what? Here's
none of the problems that he mentioned.
But I mean, what I'm saying is Cap started all this, right? He started the whole NFL boycott thing.
The exposure.
But Cap ready to go play again.
Not really.
Listen,
not by that rule.
If a team had signed him, he wouldn't play.
My point.
But they won't sign him because he's playing by his own rules.
But that's why they won't sign him.
I know why they won't. What I'm saying
is, they never were going to sign him.
What I'm saying is, if somebody had said, "All right, Cap, come on, we want you," he'd have went and played.
So what?
He was never going to play.
But here's my thing.
This thing was a setup. It wasn't for him to go show his skill. It was to give him that contract that says, I can't sue you for shit else. Mm-hmm. And once you sign that, they're going to say, oh, he's got terrible arm strength. He doesn't have mobility. What is he, 30? He's ancient. We can't sign him. Bye, nigger. No, y'all bullshitting. I'm finna sue y'all.
Yeah, we got
no, you're not.
Right.
But at some point, he believed somebody was going to sign him, though.
No, he did not. Otherwise, he
I think if that was true, he wouldn't have had on the Kucha Kinte.
No, he wasn't.
I think he had the Kucha Kinte.
He
was just exposing their ass.
He knew
if we there's not like fuck the NFL, he shouldn't entertain.
Well, there's not a snowball
to expose them.
There's not a snowballing chance of hell of Colin ever playing.
Let me tell you, none of that.
And he knows that.
Yeah, but that's why he wore the Kucha Kinte.
Right. It was all right.
He's playing as a fuck you.
Right.
You're playing, I'm playing. But wait a minute. This is what I'm saying. Because none of that shit actually matters. Because you got to do like Master P. Every time something like this happens, he going online and going, let's start our own shit.
Don't do like Master P and make horrible movies.
No, we're not talking about. We talking about pooling black money together. So you get a Master P, you get an Ice-T, you get a Byron Allen. You know what I'm saying? We can have our own shit. And if black people really love black people, the stars of the NFL, the motherfuckers who make the game great, would go ahead and work for their own.
They say Master P and Petition Cap.
Was this what I'm? But his Cap ain't gonna fuck with that.
Cap is smart.
But I mean,
Cap ain't gonna fuck with that. But that's because
that right there will be the ultimate smack in the face.
My thing is we can have our own shit, and we need our own shit because that's just like Republican and Democrat. You can vote for that shit if you want to until we got a party that's represented by us, for us, because of us, to us. Then
we got to bring FUBU back.
Now, you know what?
Yeah.
Here's the thing of it.
Yeah, we need a flag.
If you know the business of sports, you know that Master P thing. If you're a potential player for football, you're saying to yourself, that's not a good idea right now.
It worked for them. The AFC and the NFC work
Tommy
for
said,
them
fuck
You
Cap.
know why it works for them?
because they stick with their own.
No.
Because they support their own
Because they're
people.
able to get TV contracts.
Okay.
How are we gonna watch a game going on in California?
You know what?
Who the fuck is gonna
do
get
you know what the
Master P
TV
a
contracts are
contract?
for?
You know what they have to do first?
Do you know what the TV contracts are for?
The revenue.
To watch niggas play ball.
For revenue.
Without niggas playing ball, there's no contract at all.
If them motherfuckers was Mexicans and they played as good as
But they're not.
It would
They
be
hate.
That's, that's called soccer.
Right.
And that's
So what are the
children in
ratings?
football
Really here? Because this is where we at right now.
worldwide.
Right now in this
Worldwide,
country,
soccer is
in
children
this
football.
state,
Yeah.
in this
Well,
country,
But
worldwide.
the point is,
But in the most important economy,
you have to
football
have a
and
way
baseball.
we talking about the
to
NFL.
distribute what you're doing. The same with music.
Mhm.
You have to, even if you have an independent label, unless you want to sell shit before the internet, you have to do it like PD.
But we
Out
not
your
gonna,
trunk.
this ain't before the internet. This is after the internet.
Well,
We
you
got the
can't-
internet.
We can't have Master P's football games.
I
on
want
the
to talk to
internet.
y'all about something.
You
more
have
important.
to be
If
able.
you have a Master P and you have an Ice Cube and you have an LA and all the people that support
Okay, if
his,
you start
his
that,
NBA
how do you
league.
make money outside
Wait,
of
wait,
Texas?
because you got a Byron Allen who owns television
Hey,
networks
hey,
and television
Jason.
stations.
That's what you have to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Jason,
And
Let
then
me-
you
let me
have to
ask-
have sponsors.
let me ask both of y'all a question.
Black people are smart. We the
Let-
biggest consumers.
Let me ask both of y'all a question that's more pertinent to our listeners. 'Cause we feel the way we feel. But people want to hear us talk about a bunch of different shit. And I'm only gonna take, I got all the time in the world, but I'm only gonna take so much. Because after a while, you gotta pay me for this shit. But listen, Billy D. Williams, who was at one point,
Come on, man.
can I go?
We're gonna talk about this.
Can I go?
We're gonna talk about this.
Tell me when it got. Tell me when it got.
We're gonna talk about it.
Billy D. Williams, who at one point, Colt 45, Lando Calabrese.
Gender fluid.
This is Diana Ross with Mahogany. Do you know where you're going to? I go back deep with Black legacy and Black culture, right? So Billy D is the poster boy, pretty boy. We knew that, and he's been awfully calm. And I want to tell you, if you calm about social issues, you're probably a soft ass, punk ass, bitch ass, pain ass nigga. But Billy says he's sexually fluid, right? Which means you can call me her, him. Yeah, first of all, nigga, I don't care how curly your hair is. You can't call me her. My name is Kevin. That's a masculine name. So we thought for a minute Billy D was gay. And then Billy D said, no, I'm not gay. I fucked everybody. Like, I fucked everybody. Right, but Billy D. But no, I straightened it. In the People's News Network.
My bad, Kevin. We was over here on some other shit.
I know I ain't fucking with y'all.
You
But
just tell on yourself, ass.
so Billy D said he
Why you
black masculinity.
Over it up.
Because for about 48 hours, if Billy D. Williams was gay, we all fucked up. And I was like, damn, that's fucked up. But
Everybody who ever drank Colt 45.
but if you just believed in the mantra and the legend of the black dick, see,
You see how powerful social media is?
right, but it's the
Well,
influence.
because nobody actually read that shit.
It's just like Billy
Niggas
D.
was
gay.
reading the damn
Billy D. Williams
and
gay.
just spread it all Billy D.
Just the
gay.
headline,
He didn't
right?
even read the story. This
just the
nigga ain't
headline.
never said nothing gay.
And white people ain't said it. We said, oh.
We said it.
So somebody on Star Wars is gay.
Y'all know he's ready to take
These
off.
niggas
from
fucking-
here.
Niggas don't read shit but me.
He's fucking a stormtrooper.
And that can't be too long.
Hey, and we ready to take off on
Oh my God.
That's what Billy did.
We ready to take
I
off.
don't care how old you is. Oh, Gia beat the
Oh.
brains out your ass. This is how hard it is to be black in America.
Wait.
This is the conundrum when you talk about being a black man. See, you can be aware, but you can't be no square. And you can box yourself in, but you can't pretend. And you can try to begin, but you got to be sure of what's going to happen in the end.
Somebody give him
I'm
a
from
beat.
Capitol Drive,
I was thinking
and you're going to either be dead or alive.
the Super Ho beat.
Right. But listen, so I want to go back. Because I think we got off of something.
EBA had them all.
You talked about Jim
He
Brown.
was a super foe. I'm sorry.
Was he?
Go ahead.
Oh,
He was.
You talk about Jim Brown supporting Trump, right?
Fuck Jim Brown.
No. Why?
Whole Negro.
So wait, no, but okay. So you say that, right? And I get you. I feel you, right? You the hardline militant of the show.
No, you are.
No,
I'm
but listen.
sociopolitical.
So, but I got this question. The same thing I asked y'all about Jimmy
Come on
Carter,
with it.
and I asked y'all about, the other white dude or
Right,
whatever, and versus
John
the black
Wayne.
people. So what if no? So what if you have a situation where you have a Donald Trump who by the end of his term could have actually signed some legislation into law that could have benefited black people versus Obama, who had 2 terms and refused to do so? Do you still choose, even though Trump is an asshole, he's an idiot, he's a bigot, whatever you want to call him? Like when you talk about who was the better president, and he actually may have signed some legislation,
Or more effective president.
Okay, so okay, thank you for the correction because that's more accurate. But would you still choose Obama?
Well, let me say this.
Because he had black skin.
You know, God is so good because Jason
Oh.
exists, and that's my nigga right there.
Oh,
on the
thank you,
real.
sir. Yes, sir.
And he don't even like black people call him nigga, but I say that shit to his DeBarge looking ass. But I'm gonna tell you this. Let me tell you this. Trump is up for indictment. Listen, regardless of what we thought it was trumped up charges in a kangaroo court, we thought it was a dog and pony show. The Democratic Party has initiated a movement in which they're moving forward with the articles of impeachment. And so let me explain that to my lame people who just be like, fuck that, I go to work. I don't think about that shit.
Why I gotta be lame?
So basically what this is they have it's legitimately accepted right now that they are moving forward with the impeachment of the president, the sitting president of the United States of America. So the dangerous parallels about what Jason just said is that here's a black president who was never indicted, in spite of the fact that we understand that he approved all kinds of military legislation that freed drones, that killed kids abroad. His foreign policy. The drones,
slavery that's going on in Libya right now.
He entirely is responsible.
He killed a black man over there because he was trying to take out the U.S. dollar.
He's entirely responsible for the death of Muammar Gaddafi.
Shout out to
and
Melly
Quinn,
man. She said slap the shit out of Obama weekend.
Okay,
she been going in over here.
Somebody
man.
see the bullshit, right?
She been going in.
Outlaw Radio.
Yeah, Outlaw. Melly, you
okay, here. Okay,
The problem with Obama was this.
All right.
It wasn't that he said fuck black people.
Well, that didn't help.
Obama, you know what? Obama was a good human. He's a good human person.
So I can get through this show.
And he was serious when he said he was going to be the president of the
all the people.
Of all the people. So, you know, he didn't come and say, well, let me do something exclusively for black people.
Aren't we all the people? Aren't we part of all the people?
We are the only people.
Right. But
black people are the American people.
There's stuff that black people need that don't apply to everybody else.
It's just
except black people.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't introduce anything for that.
Well, yeah.
But he introduced stuff that if you were involved in certain things as a black person.
Oh, my, yes, sir.
It benefited you.
What?
Like regulating the banking system.
Yes. If you work,
so tell me how. Wait.
Insurance.
Let's just take one at a time. I want you to tell me how that affected, how that changed the black community. How did that affect us? What did it do?
That's what I'm saying. It wasn't something explicitly for the black community.
But
he helped me in plenty ways. I had Sally Mae on my fucking credit from Jackson State in 1991. Nigga, that shit didn't go away until Obama made it go away.
It was a side effect.
That wasn't a side effect.
That was a side that wasn't for you. Let me tell you.
No.
This is
that's like that's what I'm saying. That's like anybody with student loan.
Right, anybody. No, right. So you just got some crumbs. But listen.
And that might be what it was.
Well, for sure.
But I'm telling you the
Ronald Reagan
of what
gave
it
us
is.
cheese. Is he great?
If you're participating in this will help you also. Not stuff that says, okay, black people, this is only for you.
Okay, so
nobody is gonna say this is only for you.
A real black person would, right? When you're talking about reparations,
and a real black person,
that is for black people.
A real black person was not in that position saying that.
I want to say this between both of y'all. Rest in peace to Fred Hampton, and rest in peace to Chad Butler, Pimp C. This is Outlaw Radio at School Days. Believe it or not, the conversation started because I wanted to really assault the school system. But my guys.
Oh, we can talk about that.
Yeah, well,
We ain't digressing. This shit is important. We
We
talking
need to talk
about.
about that. Yeah, all of it.
I just wanted
we need to talk about the school
ahead.
too.
I just can I give it back to you? I just wanted to let
Why
people
you want to
know.
let us know what
No, I'm
where
here.
it's
I'm
at?
here. I'm here. Bull's here. Bull, do nature and the turf for these dudes get
Hey,
going.
hey, y'all, how y'all doing out there? Yeah, make sure y'all get
What
this
happened to the
detox
black
drink.
man's lover?
Give me
Yeah,
one
you
of
know,
those.
Hey man, I'm over here watching. I'm enjoying the show myself. You know what I mean?
I'm willing to hire a ghostwriter. Somebody. I need some people's lyrics
Hello.
for my introduction on the show.
You OJ Kelly.
I'm trying to slide in one of my cards over here.
OJ Kelly leaves it on her
It's
belly.
gotta be something slick and old school.
Wait. Oh, say it again.
OJ Kelly, I'll leave it on your belly. I slide in the floor because you didn't know the score, you whore. I got you, baby. I'm the Negro Whisperer.
I'm telling you, look, my name song is "Work That Ass for Daddy."
It's a white boy.
Yeah.
No, don't do it because he's talking about he down. You down? You a Nelly? Oh.
Oh, hey.
I'll take everything off now. I'm no longer the hip hop snob. Well, OJ did the napkin and the thing about eating ass. Like, we can't do ass eating, no.
Yeah, the napkin.
Tuck that
You a sloppy
motherfucker in.
eater. He's a sloppy eater.
Oh, and I'm a burger.
Hey, he cut
Same
it.
thing.
He cut it like steak, y'all. Look,
Hey,
he cut it like steak. You put some A1 sauce on it.
hey, we need love. Subscribe to our YouTube page. I'm sorry.
In the shower.
These brothers got me having a good time. I'm sorry. Let me get my.
Why you sorry for having a good
Libation.
time? Right.
Man, because I always have to get my integrity back. Let me put the check because it's
Oh,
Pimp
that because that's gonna do it.
No, this is Pimp C birthday. That's Pimp C. The Pimp C is gone.
I'm gonna tell you, man.
And Fred Hampton is gone, so I have to keep this on. I can't take the costume off. Look, now what we have is right now we have a generation gap. And I talked about Fred Hampton, and I talk about Jim Brown, and I talk about, because ultimately we all got to come together like butt cheeks. But I want to talk about something called Old Negro Syndrome. I want to talk about the fact that older Black people have never even tried to amend the generation gap. See, I work with the youngsters. I can talk to the youngsters. I still understand the lingo. I ain't that far removed. And I
bet if we asked your son, he might have a different story.
Well, but see, because he's my son, he's my conduit. See, he tells me, Dad, no.
Old.
Oh, yes, but I'm grateful because I got a son.
Right.
I have a son.
No, you should. You
How
should.
many of you motherfuckers got a son?
I do.
Right.
Wait, 98% of the Black people was like, what?
Right. All you niggas that ain't got no sons, don't be jealous.
And the ones that didn't have sons got plenty of daughters and shit. Like, you know what?
My bad.
Niggas who can't have boys always have like 5 daughters.
See, what is it about niggas who can't have boys?
They have like 5 daughters.
And you can't walk on their grass.
He's fertile, motherfucker.
It's about their grass.
And 2 of them be strapped like a
Right.
motherfucker.
Good job.
That's some mean ass girls. Somebody's gonna be happily divorced one day.
That your boy's gonna be after.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But I guarantee you, if you put him out, he can come stay with me.
You listen, he better.
I'm your daddy, nigga. What you think, daddy? Daddy?
Listen, he better come with you to meet my daughter too, motherfucker. Because when you better
You know
come
what
with
the
his friend
generation?
boy.
Check this generation gap.
Pop your shit. Pop your shit. Do some OJ.
Those dudes, it's like you can't talk religion and politics to people you have a difference with.
Okay.
Because some people just can't have a fluid conversation. They take offense to things you say when you don't agree with them.
Mm-hmm.
Those cats feel like they struggled for something. They feel like they sacrificed for something. And they don't want to tell you or even imagine that it's a different way than what they had sometimes.
Let me ask you a question, OJ. We did a show called Super Pet. Super Pet. Where I was on some bullshit. And I look at the show and that's like, I know people like, I've worn many hats in the community. It's like, damn, he was a positive role model until I watched the show. And I realized, like, fuck him. Because, Super Petty, we were on our bullshit.
We ain't never claimed to be nobody's role model. Right?
No, but we were super petty. I want to know what OJ's petty about.
Oh.
OJ, I want you to be petty.
What my most petty shit is?
Yeah, what you petty about?
Well, because it'd be like, I don't want to give him a secret.
Uh-oh.
Shit.
That's the secret.
So it's
I
anger.
come from a family of educators.
See how I make everything angry.
Well, look at it. Well, check this out.
You always getting in
I
a
come
group.
from a family of educators.
Okay.
Like literally.
Black people.
Well, and my father was a dean. You know, my sister was a teacher. You know, everybody in my family went to college. I'm the only one who didn't graduate, the only one who's been in prison, stuff like that. And so, just like I was saying today in a video, everyone acts, walks, drinks, talks their financial and educational background. Meaning you didn't have to be rich to learn financial literacy. It just means it depends on what the people around you thought was most important, what they valued most, what meant the world to them. So I'm not a dumb motherfucker.
Well, we know that.
But the way I type in Ebonics on Facebook and I, use my 29th Street lingo, sometimes people will be
29th
like,
in Capital.
right.
You're
Niggas
allowed
will
to
think
do
that
that.
that shit is like that's me.
It is you.
And I would have to, sometimes people would challenge me sometimes. And then I would have to put on what you call it, your interview voice.
Well, don't code switch. And this is what I tell people.
And that's what I would have to do.
Okay.
Because I would have to let you know that I'm doing this for you. Because I know, I don't care how educated you become. If you come from a certain place, you know what the fuck it is I'm talking about, motherfucker.
I hear
So
what
don't
you
act
saying.
like, you know what I mean?
We're gonna make bulls
You
smoke this
undid.
blunt.
Right.
Well, shit, if we can fire it up down here, fuck it.
This ain't smoking gossip, nigga.
Okay,
We don't
then.
smoke like
You
that.
see, y'all know he set that up, right? He started it earlier in the show.
I'm
right?
cold
He
with
said
that.
Ah,
That's why.
I'ma
That's why
start
some
some
people.
and they never
But
got
no, I
back
knew
to
it was
school.
coming. That's why I said it.
I'ma
So
start some
Well,
so
he
he
never
can
got
finish
back
the
to
joke,
school.
though.
And let me say
I
something
helped
about
Kevin. That was
school
the alley
days before you go
to
into
himself off the
Yeah,
backboard.
yeah, you
My
know.
man right there. That's my man right there. Fuck with it.
NPS, bro.
I met your cousin, DJ
Oh.
Six.
Oh,
I
I
talked about you. My man.
Oh,
Good.
yeah.
She
See.
will call you.
What up,
Like
Six?
I said, it's me and this dude. Dude be my mama call it devil man.
Devin. Oh, everybody mama called Devin man.
Right. It's that dude that my mama didn't want me to hang with. Don't be hanging with that Jason boy.
Are you being serious?
Yeah, man.
Nigga, I know who your friends is. And that's who she said though for? I'm not even gonna go there, bro. I don't snitch.
Welcome to the
So I
show.
ain't finished.
Welcome to the show.
We're gonna go back to
OJ.
school.
OJ.
We'll go back to school days for me.
OJ, you got the red pill, you got all kinds of stuff going on. But I want you to clarify this. You with us, right?
Right.
You with us.
Look, that's your verbal contract. He'll sue you and shit.
No, I'm not. I
Your
fuck with
paperwork is
I
in
love
the
I
mail.
fuck with
Hey, hey.
Right.
I fuck with OJ. We're outlaws. And this is a very important
We is
distinction. No, y'all might like
We outlaws too.
But you the way you said that didn't sound very outlawish.
well,
Yeah,
OJ is the
it
real
didn't
outlaw.
sound like it didn't sound like a group.
We outlaw too, bro.
I love everybody.
I love OJ. We're
But I
outlaws.
hate-
Shit, I don't
Like,
know. Where
me
you
and
come
Daze
from?
just
Who
sleep
love
with
everybody? That's
I
that.
love
That's that.
everybody, but I
He
hate
has been
people.
a really
Turn
good
the other
producer.
cheek ass shit.
I love everybody, but
Jay,
I
real good
I
producer.
don't love everybody.
hate a few
And
people.
I know.
I don't think you're supposed to love everybody.
I just
I
wanted
love
to
everybody.
welcome.
I just don't.
That's
fuck
just
with
a Christian
No,
thing.
I wanted to welcome OJ to the
Love
show.
everybody.
I
Nah,
wanted to wait because I don't have to keep calling you saying come. You just gotta come.
No, 'cause
Yeah.
now he gonna call you when you
Because
don't come.
what?
No,
See, you know what? You notice sometimes. It's because I've been
Wait,
an entrepreneur
that,
for 24
no,
years.
you brought right now. That's how it all starts out.
No,
right, you
it's
know?
not. It's habitual. It's in me. It ain't on me.
What you say about the
It is-
bitch? She did what?
It's in me. It ain't on me.
No, you said
habitual.
habitual.
For being an entrepreneur,
Now usually y'all
I'm gonna be
he
proud.
said that. I didn't say that. I just
and I'm gonna do confirmation before I come to his home.
No, you straight.
no. Let me tell you, because that's the one time he gonna be in a toilet or something. He don't answer the phone, and
Well, he gonna have to do it then.
you know
Because
he's
this
telling
ain't-
you right now. Answer the
Look,
phone when you're on the toilet.
He a part of a team.
Now I want to make you a brother.
Oh, we're not finna
These
cut
are-
our hands and shake
No,
hands. and shit.
these are my brothers, right? These are my guys, right? Like I've been through this shit, but these are my brothers. So
He wants you to cut your hand with a razor
Yeah,
blade and
you
y'all
shake
shake
hands.
hands.
we ain't gonna do that.
I'm a hypochondriac.
right. Ain't nobody finna
Well,
do that
you
shit.
can do that after. You can.
No,
you can
that
hypo-
shit
You
won't
think
happen.
somebody gonna give me some pussy? She see me share blood with a nigga?
I wouldn't trust that bitch either.
That's
Well,
over.
so what he's saying is he gonna do it after the show.
No, I'm just gonna say this.
We not gonna do that.
You don't need to get
We gonna snap 5.
You don't need
That's
to get.
it.
We gonna snap 5 and smoke some more marijuana.
They gonna spit on their ears and slap fire.
So you don't need guys to be in our clique, man. Straight. Listen, set free of all the political prisoners. Let me
What?
let me wind this.
Yes, please.
If this is the anniversary of the death of Fred Hampton, let me tell you something. If you don't understand what Fred Hampton meant to the movement, if you don't understand the role we took, and see, we talk about Malcolm, and we talk about Medgar, and we talk about the Kennedys, we never talk about Adam Clayton Powell, who was legislatively powerful, who they tried to disavow, but via the power of the Black community, he was able to come back and leave. He died in Bimini.
Who?
Bimini.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Parliament with George Clinton, a lot of the songs are about Bimini Road. It's about Black legislation. Listen, to be a Black man is very important. If you're a Black man right now, you don't understand your power. See, because I'm starting to understand my power.
Uh-oh.
The reason I'm understanding my power is because I got a bunch of powerful Black men
Wow, yes, sir.
with me, and we can kill everybody.
Oh.
Who you gonna jump? Jump Jason. We'll beat your ass.
No, don't jump.
Come at Bull. What you getting your ass whooped?
Jason, like, nigga, I go to Walmart.
Fuck with OJ.
Don't tell him to jump Jason.
Fuck
I be
with
in
OJ.
Walmart.
But I didn't see motherfuckers like, nigga, I seen you on the
Hey,
podcast. Like,
oh.
nigga,
And that shit scared the shit out of me. I be in Walmart, motherfuckers be like, OJ!
right?
Oh, what's up, fam?
Right.
You startled me, nigga.
Wait, so here's my thing. They call me talk to teach, listen to learn. So it's a listen to learn part of me that, you know, when you start on your shit, like I sit back and I kind of take note, right? So you're in the political thing, and so you got the Fred Hampton, right? And there's a Fred Hampton.
I am Fred.
There's a Fred Hampton Jr.
I'm Pimp C.
There's a Fred Hampton Jr. that's still alive. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I'm Pimp C
So
too.
I want you to tell the people what Fred Hampton Jr. had to say about the Black Panthers of today.
Well, I tell you what, he didn't get to say nothing
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he died.
Junior's dead too?
But no, first of all, I don't take what juniors.
You don't.
No,
Junior's not valid.
no, because it's not the same movement.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
see.
absolutely
maybe that's
not.
what he said.
Absolutely
Let me
not.
tell you something.
I think that's what he said.
Well, we did a show called What Revolution?
Yes, we did. Yes, sir. So I
We
was
did a show
wondering.
called What Revolution?
Right. So speak that. Don't change it.
No, well, nigga, give me a shot. Nigga. We can get a contract. Nigga, you shut up and let me talk.
Oh, wow.
You drove here.
Oh my God.
Be the driver.
Because he didn't get a chance to talk. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me tell you something. You don't speak liberation. You don't think liberation. You don't entertain liberation until you liberate yourself. And what I'm saying to you is there's a thing called you. There's a thing called you. I don't give a fuck if you're a woman or a man. When you talk about religion, which is what we go against right now, religion is energy. Let me tell you something. God is not a him or a her. He's energy. And you are energized to research what that energy is. The energy reinforces you. And I'm going to tell you this. If you ain't safe enough, because I don't give a fuck either way. If your criticism of the Black community outweighs your contribution, which means you talk a lot more shit than you've done, you a fucking coon. And I promise you, I'm done with y'all until Saturday night. Outlaw Radio is good. Outlaw Radio is great. You try to duplicate us, but you can't recreate us.
Wakanda forever.
Right. So, OJ, shout out to you people, OJ.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to the Red Pill people. Shout out to Milwaukee. Shout out to all the real Black folks. Shout out to the women with some big old ass titties.
And some sharp nipples. Because you
Attack.
can't have big titties without good nipples.
The big areolas.
Good
folks.
nipples. You gotta have good
You
nipples.
got good nipples.
You gotta have big areolas. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
the areola is just.
Well, and they have to. The nipples have to be visible while you man.
So you like good nipples.
I love.
You a real nigga.
Yeah, man.
We out.
Niggas
Follow us. Join
niggas
with
and
us.
nipples.
I guarantee you I'm finna blow this shit out the way. I love y'all, man. I holla at y'all.
Niggas and nipples. That's to make sure. Niggas.
Can you do that? Can we do that?
We vegetarian.
Can we do that?
We can say whatever we want.
Niggas and nipples. Wow. Yeah. We talk to the niggas who like nipples, the niggas who indifferent about nipples.
I love nipples. and I love pussy. Pussy's good.
Yeah, because
man.
you saying you love the nipples didn't sound convincing until you said you like pussy.
Man, I just, bitch.
Your body language changed.
I would. You be surprised what I do with your pussy. I'm so creative. I make it up as I go along. Like you can fuck around with that, ain't my pussy, bitch. But I ain't give you no money.
Oh shit.
Maybe I gave you some money. It depends on what night you met me, bitch. I'm from the north side. You motherfuckers. Oh wait, me and your YouTube out. We have a game.
Nah, you done gave all that up.
No, this on Jason. Jason said all that shit.
Man, let me tell you, they see Jason Mouth ain't moving, nigga.